Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Hidden Benzo Chronicles. This is episode 3, Discovering Benzo Tolerance, and I am Wally Sam. Today I want to talk about tolerance. I want to talk about what it is, what symptoms can occur when somebody hits tolerance, and what choices somebody has once they hit tolerance. This is based on my own experience and my own research, and the things that I've learned from talking to fellow sufferers in recovery groups. Please remember that I'm not a doctor or a medical professional. That being said, the first thing I want to talk about is what medication tolerance is. And the Ashton Manual says, tolerance is when the body responds to the continued presence of a medication with a series of adjustments that tend to overcome the medication's effects. When this happens, the medication will work less and less, and eventually not at all. And then what happens over time is a person will find their old anxiety coming back along with a lot more. The Benzo Information Coalition actually says that if you become tolerant to the effects of a habituating, mood-altering drug, you may likely be in a worse place than you were before you started. And that's where many of us have found ourselves. In my case, I started having the worst panic attacks of my life, worse than anything I had ever experienced before. My heart was racing and skipping a lot. I had really bad adrenaline rushes, and I also had brain zaps. It was definitely a lot worse than before I ever had taken benzos, and definitely wasn't worth the benzo. A lot of these symptoms I had are fairly normal tolerance and withdrawal symptoms. Some ways that we can tell that we're intolerant are if we have our anxiety coming back or getting worse. If you find that you feel worse in between doses and you only feel better when you take the medication, that's called interdose withdrawal, and that's actually a big red flag. Another symptom, it could be new severe anxiety, like things you've never had before, like panic attacks or agoraphobia, which is fear of being out in public in front of people. And then, of course, the physical symptoms that will show up, like heart racing, blood pressure spikes and drops, and things like that. When all of this started happening to me, I really had no idea what was going on, and I honestly thought that I was dying. That's why I wanted to make this episode, is, so people out there that are going through this know what's going on with their bodies, and they know why it's happening. And speaking of why do we go through this? Why do we go into tolerance and withdrawal? Why can't the benzos just work forever, There's a few reasons why tolerance develops. The main one that I have always heard, and the Benzo Information Coalition describes, is GABA receptor downregulation from repeated exposure to benzodiazepines. And downregulation, what does downregulation mean? It means that there is a decrease in the number of GABA receptors on the surface of cells, making those cells less sensitive to GABA. And that's why we feel worse, and we become more anxious and, fast and racing and horrible feeling. Once the changes in the brain and the body happen, our regular dose, our prescribed dose, no longer works, and we begin to have withdrawal symptoms. You don't have to take these medications incorrectly for this to happen. You don't have to abuse these medications. Usually what's happening to us is happening to normal people who are taking it just like the doctor prescribed, and all of a sudden they find themselves in this situation. once I realized I was intolerant, I found out that I only had two choices to get out of it. I could take an increased dose and keep increasing my dose every time I hit tolerance, and it would only be just a matter of time until I hit it again and went into withdrawal again. The other choice is to taper off and be done with these drugs forever. And as far as I know, those are really the only two options for a person once they hit tolerance. And I definitely didn't want to do this again. So I chose to taper and be done with these evil medications. Of course, what you do is entirely up to you, and I just hope that this video has given you some good information on what tolerance is. If you think that you might be intolerant, I would definitely encourage you to do your own research and to talk to people that you trust and figure out a plan for what you want to do next. Thank you so much for watching the Hidden Benzo Chronicles. If you have any ideas for things that you'd like to discuss and things that you'd like to see in these episodes, please comment and let me know. And please like and subscribe so we can do this some more. And I am Wally Sam again, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.